You are listening to the New American Media.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us. This is Brian Engelman continuing Agree to Disagree here on thenewamericanmedia.com. I want to thank everybody for participating in the program. Ben Weinbrower from existential.com. Check him out, EXIS, the number 10, TIAL, exis10show.com. Ben Weinbrower talking NSA, and, of course, before that on the Unhappy Hour, we're talking a little bit about the Cleveland Indians and Chris Perez getting marijuana mailed to him. Awesome. The Mitch Hedberg joke. I love my FedEx delivery man. He's a drug dealer and he doesn't even know it. All right. And he's always on time. All right. But anyway, so special thanks to Ben. Check him out on Twitter at Existential, EXIS, the number 10, TIAL. And special thanks to Zach Barris, NBA scout. You can follow him on Twitter at ZBarris. That's Z-B-A-R-I-S. Check him out for sure. We're going to bring in Blake the Eccentric Walley. Do us a favor real quick, though. If you're not following us on Twitter, we're at American_media_ search The New American Media on Facebook and like our page. Subscribe to youtube.com/The New American Media and check out the homepage, thenewamericanmedia.com. So let me do this. We're going to talk some NSA. We're going to talk about this other breaking story, kind of dig into it a little bit about an overseas operation regarding a cyber attack. Got to get some more information from Blake, but we'll just bring him in on the program right now. Blake, the Eccentric Walley.
Hello.
Good morning, Blake. You're live on the air. How you doing, sir?
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Living the dream.
I'm doing
can't complain. Yeah, I can't complain.
Doing well.
And if I did, nobody would mind anyway, so no point.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's new in your world, Blake? By the way, before we get going, Blake, make sure you follow him. He's at Eccentric99 on Twitter, at Eccentric99. He is a radio host. You can check him out on freedomizerradio.com every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday from noon to 1:30 p.m. Pacific. And you can sign up for his podcast. Check out his homepage as well, eccentricperspective.com. Blake, it's been quite the news week. What was the phrase you were going by? You had like a little catchphrase that you kept using.
Well, it's not technically mine. I found it through other sources, but someone created that meme as Scandalanche.
Scandalanche. I like it.
All right.
Now, why? Let's do a quick recap before we get to the NSA, because that's the latest one. Can we get a quick recap on the scandals coming out of this most transparent administration in global history?
All right. Yeah, I suppose we can. Let's see. Let's go over them all in case we forget one.
Let's
here.
try. Okay.
Well, I mean, one that's not included, of course, is the Fast and Furious one. So we'll set that one aside for now. Put that on the back burner. Of course, we had the huge one, the biggest one of all probably, Benghazi, which is kind of taken a back seat as well. So we put that on the other back burner. Then we've got the I.R.S. scandal. We've got that.
Now, is the I.R.S. is that on the front burner or is it in the oven?
I think it's in the. Whoa, that's a good. You know what? Let's have that one in the oven right now.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay, all right.
That's in the oven. That's
but
doing
there's
well.
more. There's more.
Then we've got we got the AP scandal, which. But I mean, now that this new NSA scandal, that's kind of related in a way.
Wait, what was going on with the AP again?
Eric Holder was, or just the Justice Department. He's recused himself of this, of course. They were spying on the Associated Press reporters.
Okay, so he was spying on them. Don't forget,
tied with James Rosen.
Fox News and James Rosen, exactly. That's where I was going next. Okay,
so that's kind of tied together. So then latest, we got one that just broke, like literally within the last few hours here, which is kind of related to the NSA. I don't even know what to say about this one because I'm kind of looking for that fallout to see what other people are going to, say in response to this one because now it's like the Friday news dump, so they kind of snuck this one out there. The latest of these Scandalanche here is that Obama has ordered plans for cyber attacks. So I don't know if that's really, is that really tied with the NSA? maybe, but it's kind of in the cyber category. So yeah, they're kind of intertwining.
Well, let me give you a little bit of background on this. It's the headline over on Drudge right now. It's out of The Guardian. Glenn Greenwald, you may have heard of this guy, as well as Ewan
big week
McCaskill.
for him. He's like the rock star reporter of the week.
He's the Ben Swan of the hour. Yeah, good for him. Glenn Greenwald. This is the story out of The Guardian. Hey, you know what? Guardian.co.uk. Check them out. But let's see. Barack Obama has ordered his senior national security and intelligence officials to draw up a list of potential overseas targets for U.S. cyber attacks. A top-secret presidential directive obtained by The Guardian reveals. The 18-page Presidential Policy Directive 20, issued in October last year but never published, states what it calls offensive cyber effects operations, OCEO, can offer unique and unconventional capabilities to advance U.S. national objectives around the world with little or no warning to the adversary or target, and with potential effects ranging from subtle to severely damaging. It says the government will identify potential targets of national importance where OCEO can offer a favorable balance of effectiveness and risk compared with other instruments of national power. The directive also contemplates the possible use of cyber actions inside the U.S. Hey, what if we did this to our own citizens and then declared martial law and staged a legitimate coup of the country? Whoa, Blake, I'm going off script here a little bit, but that's just what I just thought of.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of it's kind of like a plausible deniability type of thing. I guess they could kind of, because it's not really open. It's not like they're, using some sort of like military, like a hot coup or anything like that. And they're not like, physically attacking anybody. It's just kind of sneaky, cyber attacks. You're not really going to notice that unless you're extremely, proficient with a computer and you know how these things work. I'm certainly not one of those people, and I don't think most people are. Yeah, it's just it's a way of like waging a silent war, or to do kind of, military tactics that are, I guess, the 21st century kind of warfare in a way. This is kind of how I'm thinking about it.
Okay, well, you know what?
But it's all secret, right? You can't even ask about it because it's the NSA. It doesn't exist. And that just kind of gets into a whole realm of
the Matrix.
What do we call? Yeah, where do we draw the line with what we call classified information? And where do we draw the line of how far do we trust people? And yeah, we're going to get too far down in the rabbit hole with that. So just go ahead, before we get sidetracked.
No, I mean, I'm already sidetracked. Bradley Manning,
yeah.
What is national security interest versus what is whistleblowing? What can the NDAA just cause people to disappear for? When can a drone just destroy you out from the sky? And it's just like that Matrix scene where, you look back at the bent spoon. There is no spoon. Like what is national security versus? It's just there. I don't know. It just gets crazy. But let me wrap this component of it up, because the directive also contemplates, continuing this story from The Guardian, the directive also contemplates the possible use of cyber actions inside the U.S., This is where I stopped, and then I went off on my tangent, because this clearly addresses my concern. It says, though it specifies that no such domestic operations can be conducted without the prior order of the president except in cases of emergency. Nothing to worry about there, right? Nothing to worry about there.
I don't know. Hey, it was top secret. This wasn't supposed to be leaked, so, it was just their little secret.
Oh, so he should be sharing a jail cell with Bradley Manning. And I still don't know what to. I still don't even know what to make of the Bradley Manning thing. You were definitely supporting Bradley Manning on the air the other day over on
100%,
Eccentric Perspective.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where I stand on that. I'm open to hearing some debate on it, because
until I see somebody hurt, and I mean, if the best argument against Bradley Manning is that supposedly some of these leaked documents, through WikiLeaks were found at the Osama bin Laden compound. That still doesn't really, if that's the worst, I mean, that still doesn't really say anything that anybody got put in any danger. All it did was embarrass the military and embarrass the government because they're covering up war crimes, and this guy released them all. That's his duty. That's everybody's duty. If you see wrongdoing, it's your patriotic duty to blow the whistle. And he didn't release it to the enemy. He gave it to WikiLeaks. So, I have an issue with that. So I think that, yes, it's the government's just got him away because they're embarrassed of their crimes, their wrongdoing, and it really exposed them, made them look bad, and puts them up and for criminal problems down the road, and they're trying to make it. They're trying to use him as the fall guy. Of course, they will. I think that's understandable. But I don't think it works, or at least I just want the truth to come out, no matter what. But no, I think he'll be vindicated in time.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, but for me, one of the concerns, obviously, is that if everybody in the military decides to just take information and become judge, jury, and executioner themselves, I mean, that's a very Wild West kind of scenario where there's literally no control over anything. And if everybody gets to be in charge of the final say of all this stuff, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good place to be either. I'm definitely in favor of freedom of the press, and I don't like the chilling effects of trying to go after James Rosen or the Associated Press and trying to crimp down and read everybody's emails and track all your GPS stuff like some creepy ex-boyfriend or girlfriend stalker that you can't shake, and you have to get a technical. Can we get a restraining order against our own government? Let me ask you that, because I feel like they're stalking me.
Yeah, I don't know how you would do that at this point, because it seems like they've got their tentacles in everything, and they're watching everything, or they're just gathering the metadata. They're not actually watching, but how do we trust them at this point? You can say what you want, but at this point, their credibility is completely shot. And nobody with a functioning brain who's paying any attention should believe anything coming out of this administration until we get a lot of answers on a lot of these issues that are going on right now, or as we're calling it, the Scandalanche. The
Scandalanche. By the way, I think that's going to be the title of this, not Scandalanche, but I think requesting a restraining order against my own government. I think that might be what we're going to title this on YouTube. But you talked about something real quick there about losing credibility. Briefly touch on, and Ben Weinbrower was our guest previously, and he got into it just a little bit. But what are your thoughts on what the New York Times did? One of the most left-leaning publications, actually coming out and having some harsh words for the president and his administration.
Oh, I thought it was very refreshing. I thought it was awesome. I think it was even well written. So it wasn't just some person. It is on the opinion pages, but I got to look. I'm looking at it right in front of me right here. The President Obama's Dragnet, and I got over 1,200 comments. It's written by the editorial board, so who knows? But it's a lot of conglomerate of people that are fed up. That are like, okay, this is going too far. We can't defend this anymore, I guess. So, and it was really harsh at first, and they actually had to change a part of their headline on that because now I don't have it in front of me exactly what they. Do you remember what they were saying?
That he's lost all credibility. And
all credibility.
And then it comes back. Now they added on this issue. Right. Somebody said, no, he's still our Messiah.
I asked you to tell me, and then I ruin it for you. All right, there we
go. Good work, Blake. No, let me wrap up a little bit more of this one here out of the Guardian, so we can bounce away from it, because this one is about the cyber warfare stuff, and I think this is how you start connecting the dots even further. The aim of this document was to put in place tools and a framework to enable government to make decisions on cyber actions. A senior administration official told the Guardian. The administration published some declassified talking points from the directive in January 2013, but those did not mention the stepping up of America's offensive capability and the drawing up of a target list. Obama's move was to establish a potentially aggressive cyber warfare doctrine that it will heighten fears over increasing militarization of the Internet. The directive's publication comes as the president plans to confront his Chinese counterpart, I'm not attempting his name, at a summit in California on Friday over the alleged Chinese attacks on Western targets. Even before the publication of the directive, Beijing had hit back against the U.S. criticism, with the senior official claiming to have mountains of data on American cyber attacks he claimed were every bit as serious as those China was accused of having carried out against the U.S.
The timing couldn't be any better on this.
Well, and it's also like my junk is bigger than your junk. It's also a whole bunch of trash talking on an NBA court. It's also like having a little backyard trash talking contest. I don't know. Like this is also, it's also petty. It sounds like it just strikes me as really global politics, Blake. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it, but
no, it's hilarious that we act like we're the moral authority in the world, and we are covertly maybe the most corrupt country. I don't know. I mean, just looking at all this stuff, so I guess we've been the good guy. We've had that reputation, but I think we're starting to lose that, and even within our own country. Now they're even going after its own citizens. I mean, it's just going. This is getting really bad, but it's really been exciting to watch. That's absolutely sure.
Yeah, I suppose it has. I mean, do we have anything else at the Thanksgiving table that we didn't reference where it's at in relation to the stove yet? I mean, just to recap with Scandalanche, Fast and Furious, Benghazi, I.R.S, Fox News, James Rosen, AP, Bradley Manning. Well, Bradley Manning's something slightly different, but I mean the NSA. Let's just dig in to the NSA because now I feel like I need a restraining order against my own government.
Right. Well, actually, there's one other part I think I do. Are we done with this article, the Guardian article, and latest?
Keep bouncing back to it, man. We're all over the place, and that's how we usually do things.
Well, there is one part that I have highlighted because this is a very long article. One part, I mean, there's a few parts that are good or worthy of a highlight here, but I can only highlight one thing at a time. But I've got these three little paragraphs here. It says, an intelligence source with extensive knowledge of the National Security Agency systems told The Guardian the U.S. complaints against China were hypocritical because America had participated in offensive cyber operations and widespread hacking, breaking into foreign computer systems to mine information, which is kind of tying into what we just said. Now, provided anonymity to speak critically about the classified practices, this source said, quote, we hack everyone everywhere. We like to make a distinction between us and the others, but we are in almost every country in the world. So it says the U.S. likes to haul China before the International Court of Public Opinion for doing what we do every day, claims the source. That's it. That's done. But I remember all these were talking about, China might be doing hack attacks. And it's like, wait a second. We've had this, it sounds like we've been doing a lot worse and in every country. So whatever they want to use to their advantage, I suppose. It's pretty amazing. And there's another Politico article here today. Is a smaller one. It's very good. It says, with this Glenn Greenwald, this journalist here, says U.S. wants to destroy privacy worldwide.
I just tweeted that out, actually. I just saw that you'd sent that over. Blake, by the way, follow Blake on Twitter. He's at eccentric99, and follow us. We're at American_media_. I just literally tweeted that out 20 seconds before.
That.
You heard it? Nice.
Well, yeah, so it was in my pocket, my phone. I was like, I wonder what that is.
Nice.
That was you retweeting it as I was talking about it.
For all the technology and how creepy it can be, it's also awesome that we get to fight back so quickly. Instantaneously, our network is engaged, we're active, the pen is mightier than the sword, the keystrokes are way better than any bullets. This is the way to fight back. It's with information, truth, and knowledge in connectivity.
The information war where truth is the weapon.
I like it. We'll talk about that one, that other Greenwald one that you have there.
All right, yeah, I can talk about this quick. The journalist who broke the news that the government... do we want to sidetrack here the journalist? Because it's kind of odd that, we're getting the British paper. The British press is reporting this stuff. So it kind of makes you wonder if this anonymous source tried to go to, say, the Washington Post or the New York Times or, let's just pick a magazine or pick any kind of, say, liberal publication.
Like maybe
this was... Do you think they rejected it? Do you think that their editors or somebody said, "No, we're not interested in that"?
Is there an election right now? Is there an election right now?
Not anymore, but it kind of makes you wonder if they're trying to play defense with the president. Now, I can understand why they would want to might want to protect the president for the Benghazi thing so close in front of the election. But now, after the fact, I don't know. And there's just so many things rolling out right now. I don't know how they can defend this anymore. It's getting to that point. But because Breitbart made a good article, I think it was yesterday, might have been the day before. Actually, I think it was yesterday. Where is it? I thought I had it in front of me. Yes, mainstream media fails to break even one of the 4 Obama scandals.
I love that story. I love that story.
Right. That was yesterday.
Say that again. Say that one more time, because it's so important to recognize where you're getting your source of information from. If it's not the New American Media or Eccentric Perspective or Freedomizer Radio or Existential.com or, like if it's not alternative media, you're not getting the news, is my point. It's all just propaganda. Please say that one more time, what you just said. It's so important.
Mainstream media fails to break even one of the 4 Obama scandals. Now, it's only 4 on this, and it probably could be like 6. I don't think they're even including Fast and Furious, nor are they, of course, this is yesterday, so this is before the latest, where it looks like Obama is using cyber... Right.
I'm gonna try to use that sound effect a bunch of times. Hey, read the headline for a third time to just make sure everybody has it.
All right. Mainstream media fails to break even one of the 4 Obama scandals. How about we just change that instead of 4? Right.
Okay.
Mainstream media fails to break any Obama scandals. Maybe they should, because I don't think it's going to hold at 4. It's already one day later. It's already changed, and it's not including Fast and Furious. And who knows exactly what's else is going to come rolling out in the next few weeks? Do you want to? Does anyone think that the Scandalanche is going to stop here? Even if it did, we still haven't gotten to the bottom of any of the ones that are currently active. So I got to say, this isn't looking too good for the Obama administration. And I don't want to just keep rambling away. I know there's also hysterical that they've come out today with a response already to this. Says officials, this is a headline on Drudge too, NSA is mistakenly intercepted. The officials are saying the NSA mistakenly intercepted emails and phone calls of innocent Americans. Now they're trying to make it sound like it was a mistake.
Oh, I love that. That is, you know what? But here's the thing. While everybody's starting to wake up to realize how bad things are, I know how much worse they are. They want to talk metadata. Man, they can access for years I've known that your phone can be turned on and listen to you, even when it's not on, as long as the battery's in it. There are backdoors built into these, that you can be tracked. Your cameras can be activated to watch you. That happened in a Pennsylvania school where they gave out laptops to students, and they busted a kid they thought was dealing drugs because they were watching him from his own spy camera. They were remotely activating. Like... It is so much worse than this one little story of what we have right now. Except for me, Blake, I was saying this before I brought you on the program, I actually welled up a little bit last night. It was probably after I talked with you. I talked with you late night. And then I watched Rachel Maddow. Did you have a chance to watch her yesterday?
I think I watched by the first, 20 minutes. And, at least 20 minutes. I was going to watch the rest.
It made me excited. It made me well up with tears a little bit, because even when Rachel Maddow and MSNBC have to get into how serious this is, we're winning. We've already won. Finally, I've never doubted myself, but that was a moment of vindication that I'm not crazy. I've never doubted myself, but friends and people close to you, it's hard to explain just how bad these things are. And when you get a little bit of vindication, sometimes it's a great moment. It's a little victory in a crazy world that we're living in. I don't know if you had a similar reaction to that, but I was just blown away that Maddow was tearing into it the way she was.
Oh no, that was excellent. How can anyone at this point literally defend the administration at this point? And it's getting so bad, and they're forced to cover some of this stuff, I guess, at some point. Maddow's show has really been losing a lot of numbers. The ratings are absolutely getting destroyed, and it makes sense because you can look on just, versus like Fox or something. Fox has got, Scandal Mania, Scandalanche, whatever. It's just scandal galore. It's exciting news. And then you flip on the Rachel Maddow show or something, and then they're talking about, totally unrelated things that nobody's interested in and nobody's talking about because they don't want to, damage our beloved leader. But at a certain point, they're forced to cover these things. And I didn't get the chance to watch the entire Maddow show, but at least it was on the right track and it was calling this stuff out. So got to give credit where it's due.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's just how much worse could it get? By the way, did you follow that story about the shooting in Santa Monica today? Santa Monica College, 3 miles away from where President Barack Obama was, just one day after LAPD had this big false flag. What do they call it? They call it a training exercise about some terror attack in the middle of the streets. The thing that seems to be the prelude to lots and lots and lots of bad things, you could say, whether it's the Boston bombing or
anytime. Yeah, that's a good point, because there seems to be an eerie coincidence that every time there's some sort of training drill somewhere that something odd happens. So yeah. I didn't follow that. That's right in your backyard. I did pull up a story at some point today, but no, I don't know. I don't know what I did with it, but I'll have to dig into that later. Why don't you go ahead and discuss that one?
No, I mean, let me just leave it at that for now. It's all breaking. That's what we know. They're saying as many as 4 dead. Shooting in Santa Monica College, and I've been over there. Yeah, it is. It really is my backyard. But yeah, it was 3 miles away from President Barack Obama. Was at doing all of his fundraisers out here. Constant campaigning and constant money grabbing, I guess, as major politicians will always do. But
right.
It's just that they had that crazy drill yesterday in the middle of the streets to. I don't know. I just every time I see stuff like this, I'm leery. I'm leery of what's really going on. I never fully trust the story.
No, and here, yeah, and I can tell you what Glenn Greenwald thinks. We can get back to that
Sure.
Politico article where he says U.S. wants to destroy privacy worldwide. We got sidetracked on this one. So do you want to get back to this one?
Yeah, go to that one. Yeah, it's fun.
Absolutely. So let's get back, because I know we got sidetracked with a little backstory here. But Glenn Greenwald. All right. So it's claiming the U.S. is building a massive snooping apparatus committed to destroying privacy worldwide. Here's the quote. There is a massive apparatus within the United States government that with complete secrecy has been building this enormous structure that has only one goal, and that is to destroy privacy and anonymity, not just in the United States, but around the world, said Glenn Greenwald. This is the guy who's publishing all these bombshell stories. So, he says that is not hyperbole. That is their objective. Now, Greenwald, speaking with CNN's Piers Morgan, appeared during a week in which Americans learned that, according to reports, the NSA and other parts of the government have been monitoring phone records of Verizon users and accessing Internet information as part of intelligence gathering procedures. Now, let's see here. Some Republicans and Democrats have defended the phone record strategy, including the highest-ranking members of the Senate Intelligence Committee. That would be Dianne Feinstein, one of your favorites, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
And, Saxy Chambliss, or Chambliss, whatever.
But
Greenwald dismissed those arguments. But this isn't going on too long. He's got some really good quotes here, some scathing reports. So let me jump to this quick here. So here's Greenwald's words again. So whatever the Justice Department wants to do, they can beat their chests all they want. People like Dianne Feinstein and Saxy Chambliss can have press conferences threatening people for bringing light to what it is that they're doing, but the only people who are going to be investigated are them. It's well past time that these threats start to be treated with the contempt that they deserve. That's certainly how I intend to treat them moving forward, with more investigation and disclosures. Wow. So, he then even went to, he also bashed the Obama administration for issuing threats I will drop another quote on you, Brian, here. The Obama administration has been very aggressive about bullying and threatening anybody who thinks about exposing it or writing it or even doing journalism about it. And it's well past time that comes to an end. That's awesome. I mean, Grant Greenwald just really rocking it this week.
Where the heck did... What I hear him is described as is like the last standing leftist civil libertarian out there? Something like that?
It's hard to say what's going on with the media, and do I throw all these people under the bus, or do their editors have the final control, and kind of they're like the gatekeepers and say, oh, you can't write stuff like that, or sorry, no, we're not interested. I don't know. I think he's a former Salon writer, and then maybe he went on to the Guardian for whatever reason. He's an American guy working for the English paper, but it's telling when all these scandals, like we just said that Breitbart article where they haven't broken any of these scandals. So I mean, they're not doing their job. They're in full defense mode trying to protect the president. And so who do you get this information to? Who's going to publish it? Who's going to say anything? Who's going to speak the truth to power? Instead of playing, partisan, instead of playing ball with the administration. So it's gotten out of hand, but it's nice to see that somebody's finally doing something. And yeah, Greenwald, a big week, and my hat's off. So even for Politico or the New York Times, or you're talking about MSNBC. So I mean, it's starting to come around now. So I mean, who are the defenders now? It's gonna break.
Yeah.
And we got to be. Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, and we have to rethink things. I mean, things have gotten too far. The corruption has gotten too far. This isn't looking good for our future. At some point, we got to say enough is enough. And put an end to this, and stop. It doesn't need to be a bipartisan thing. And you know what? If Bush is responsible, then let's go after Bush too, or the Bush administration. I mean, this is beyond right and left. This is
absolutely.
There's a great article written by Ron Fournier this week out of the National Journal saying, "Welcome to the Bush-Obama White House." Of course, even the Huffington Post today had an article and they had a really interesting picture because it was like a picture that kind of blended, Obama and George Bush together as like one and the same person. So, people are really starting to get that. They're fed up, and they're starting to see that the emperor wears no clothes. And it's time to have a big national debate about the future of our country.
I think that's what we're doing on the New American Media all the time, and that's what you do over on your show over at Eccentric Perspective. Why don't you tell people about your show real quick, where they can find you and all of that? Because I think that's really the main story I wanted to cover right now, Blake. You've done a lot of good shows this week. I've listened to all of them, and I just really wanted to hone in on this NSA thing, because the I.R.S. thing, heads are going to roll. This is going to it's just going to keep coming because it's that corrupt in Washington. It's time to hit the hard reset.
I know, it's awesome. Right? A guy visits or he's cleared to visit 157 times, and that's just. I don't want to get sidetracked. We could go on and on about the I.R.S., but I'm sure there's going to be a lot more stuff coming out next week, and there'll be always more material going on because that's just the beginning of that one. But, yes, you can find me at freedomizerradio.com, where I do a live show 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday between 12 and 1:30 Pacific. You can also find me through Blog Talk or the archives. I'm also on iTunes. You can just sign up for the podcast and just look up Eccentric Perspective through iTunes, and you can just have those delivered right to your phone or wherever you're getting it. And also the website, eccentricperspective.com, and Twitter, eccentric99. That'd probably be the best place to follow me because I'm usually on there every day, tweeting out a lot of news highlights and such, so you can really get caught up to speed and find a lot of useful info on that Twitter feed.
Absolutely. It just seems like it's time to hit Control-Alt-Delete on Washington, D.C. Control Alt Delete.
Yeah.
Like it is time for a hard reset. This system has crashed, and we need to hit. We need to restart this thing because it is not. It's going to burn itself out. It's already burning itself out. The motherboard is failing. Control Alt Delete. Time to hit reset. We've hit a glitch, Blake. We're in the middle of a
good call.
Funk right now.
Yeah, right. I.R.S, NSA for sure. Something's wrong there. And, it's going to be a lot of problems. Yeah, the Scandalanche. So what's next? What's going to be the next shoot a drop or what have you? Who's going to be next?
Maybe it's time for that Project Bluebeam. Maybe it's just time to introduce the aliens and get the most massive false flag distraction in the history of mankind in recorded history.
You know what, Brian? That's what I would say they could do, but they don't have enough credibility. Nobody's going to believe anything they say anymore.
But remember, I mean,
right.
when it was all about the birth certificate and this and that, what happened? Oh, we got the boogeyman. We got Bin Laden. You can't see him,
right?
And we're going to throw him overboard, but there's no proof of that, and all the SEALs that went and got him, they're dead now. But
we can't ask anybody because there aren't any witnesses left, but,
Yeah, look, Blake, it just feels like it's time to get a restraining order against our own government. I'm actually going to ask questions. I might call LAPD and just ask them, how can, I feel the need. I feel like I'm being stalked. How do I get a restraining order? Okay, against who? The federal government. I really want to have this conversation with LAPD. Maybe I'll do it on the air. Maybe I'll
yeah.
No, I mean seriously, with NSA getting into all your email, your GPS tracking, I think I need a restraining order. The government has to stay at least 300 yards away from me at all times. Could you imagine how sweet that... Blake, I think we hatched a neat little idea on this program. I'm gonna pursue this a little bit. But yeah, guys, definitely check out Blake Monday, Wednesday, Thursday from noon to 1:30 p.m. Pacific on Freedomizer Radio when you can hear him on Eccentric Perspective. You're always digging around, finding the stories, and we all have to carry a bucket of water. None of us are going to drain a swimming pool on our own, but if we all grab one bucket, that thing's going to empty out in a heartbeat. We all need to do a little bit of journalism if we want it to happen the way that it's supposed to be, because the propaganda arms of the dinosaur media, it's just not cutting it anymore. So, thanks for what you're doing. Thanks for joining us again today. And, one of these days we'll bring you back on again, and I'll, maybe even this Monday. Maybe this Monday I can join you on Eccentric Perspective over there. We can maybe try
That'd be awesome.
All right, cool.
Anytime.
All right, well, hey, have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us again. You take care, all right?
You too, Brian.
All right,
Thank
peace
you.
out. That was Blake the Eccentric Walley. Let me just do this. I'm going to tell you one more time where you guys can stay connected with us. I want to thank all of our guests. I want to thank Glenn Greenwald for bringing some good stories out. I want to thank every independent journalist, every blogger, everybody on Facebook that's not scared to stand up and find stories and push for truth. I'm not trying to mislead anybody. Where I'm off base, let's call it where it's off base. Let's correct it. I'm not trying to lie to people about stuff. I'm certainly not. And everybody can make mistakes, but I mean, hats off to all of you that are trying to do something. You don't need to be perfect. Just do something today. Do something tomorrow. Do something the next day. And take little baby steps, turn around. You can barely see where you started. That's where the New American Media has been for 2 years. So thank you to everyone. 32,000 something on Twitter, 93,000 something video views on YouTube. Everybody that's been a part of this, thank you so much. We're doing this for you, and we're doing this for ourselves, because I can't sit on the sidelines anymore. I cannot be an observer. I need to be a participant in my life. I don't. What is it, Jack Nick? Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can find that. You know what? Let me see if I can pull this up quick enough where I can play this scene for you. There we go. I think I found the scene. Because this is exactly how I feel. Well, hold on. It told me that Oh, hold on. Hold on a sec. There we are. Okay. This is how I feel about why I wanted to be involved in the media. I don't know the quality of this, but let me see if this plays. Tell me if you can guess where it's from.
I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me.
You hear that? Let me tell you that one more time. I don't want to absorb the propaganda from the media outlets that are pushing a political point of view backed by corporate interests that are in bed with government, that don't really give a damn about us as long as they make their money.
I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me.
You got that? You got that? That's why we do what we do. We do this so that you guys can listen. We do this so that we can sleep well at night knowing that we're doing what we can to impact the world that we live in. I don't want to just accept the way things are. Things can be better if we all work toward it. You know, and if you guys aren't going to work toward it, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do a little bit of something. You know, and it's easy to get wrapped up in, well, I can't fix all the problems at once, and oh, I'm not good enough, or I don't know what I'm doing. It doesn't matter if you know what you're doing or not. Just keep showing up, keep clocking in. I told Blake the other day, you know, I forget, he's like 1 year, maybe 2 years in on his radio show. I'm just like, you know, I'll give you credit, man. You are very, you're persistent, man. You keep clocking in, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. You know, whether it's a relationship where you know you have to make, I mean, it's work every single day if you want it to work, versus opting out and giving up and saying, you know, I just don't have time for this anymore. I don't know. I've changed my mind. I'm not interested anymore or whatever. You know, just being engaged on Twitter every day, trying to find things that seem wrong and passing it along, trying to highlight the things that are right, trying to connect with others, doing the same thing on Facebook, doing the same thing on your little radio show, your podcast, your website. It doesn't matter. Talking to your friends. Just every day doing something. If we all do something, it doesn't matter what this creepy government wants. But I really feel, I really feel as though we've turned the corner. I don't think we're out of the woods yet by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm hopeful for the first time in a long time. I'm hopeful that we're going to get this figured out. You know, because let's face it, we're at the point right now where I feel like I need to take out a restraining order against my own government. Let's just call it for what it is. I need a restraining order against my own government. So, you know, special thanks to Blake Walley. Make sure you follow him. He's at Eccentric99 on Twitter. Special thanks to Ben Weinbrower, other radio host out of Chicago with existential.com, EXIS, the number 10, TIAL.com. You can follow him on Twitter at existential with the EXIS, the number 10, TIAL. And special thanks to our first guest, Zach Barris. Follow him on Twitter at ZBARIS. You know, that's one of the easiest ways you guys can be friends to the New American Media and friends of me, your humble correspondent. Follow our buddies. You know, connect with them on Facebook and on Twitter. You know, pass it along. You know, find some words of wisdom. Find some articles that look interesting. Spread it around. Help us. Grab a bucket. You know, we'll keep scooping. Just grab a bucket for us. We're going to keep scooping. We're inside of that above-ground swimming pool. We got to get it empty. We'll keep scooping. Just be there to grab one bucket and run with it. Take one bucket and go to your groups of friends and family. Take a bucket and go. Take a bucket and go. Come back for more when it's gone. Help us, please. Because it's not about us. It's not about Blake. It's not about Ben. It's not about Zach. I mean, as frivolous as NBA stuff is, I mean, it's his career, and I love sports. I do sports radio. I absolutely love it. I kind of do it as a distraction from the politics and the global takeover prison planet system that's being implemented, where it feels like I got stalkers following everything that I'm doing. But that's the point. Connect with the people that are friends of ours. Connect, and then share it with other people. Grab a bucket and go. Help us drain the pool. Hand me an empty bucket. Come on, do something. Everybody can do something. And you know, special thanks to everybody that participated in today's program. Benjamin Franklin, those who would trade liberty for security deserve neither and will lose both. There's specific ways. I've heard that phrase many different times. Anyone who would trade any temporary security, yeah, you know what, here, let me just do this, because I paraphrase it so much. Let me just make sure that I'm giving you the best version possible, because it's one of my favorite quotes. And on a day when we're talking about, there are so many versions of this. Those who sacrifice liberty for security deserve neither. Okay. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. See what I'm saying? I just paraphrase it because the point is, don't do that. You know, there's no discussion about how much of the Fourth Amendment we need to ignore. Pay attention to all of it. Stop shaking us down. Get out of our windows and our bushes, you creep. Got to take out a restraining order against my own government. You got to be kidding me. Come on. Come on. That's just insanity. We don't need to be wacky. We don't need to be insane. We don't need to be lunatics. We need a little bit of common sense. Just a little scotch of common sense. Don't do that. You know, that's how the bad guys win, is if we lose our liberty and our freedom. I'm not interested in that. You guys want to go somewhere else and opt out of what we have, then you guys can go elsewhere. I'm staying here. And that's what I'm doing. And I think we can do better. And I think it's all in your hands. But hey, you know, as awesome as the internet and Facebook and YouTube and MySpace, YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, as awesome as it is, do yourself a favor. We're big into prepping and preparedness over here. Just take a quick second. Imagine if the power didn't come on, you had no lights, and there was no gasoline to pump at the stores, at the gas stations, and there was no food at the grocery store. I mean, do you guys have a game plan for if the technology didn't turn on tomorrow? Think about that for a second. Not to freak you out, but so that you have a game plan, so that you're going to be okay for an extended period of time in case of emergency. Tornado, I mean, look at all the stuff in Oklahoma. Hurricanes, I mean, it's already hurricane season. Saw the first one starting to rock and roll. And if you remember Hurricane Sandy from last year. Or if there's civil unrest, or there's a solar flare, or if there's some government takeover, or China or our own government disables the entire internet, and you can't get any money anywhere, you can't connect with anyone, your cell phones don't work. I mean, just imagine. Are you okay? You going to be all right? Do you have a game plan? Get a game plan, guys. Because that's when you have the power, when you have your game plan. No game plan, no power. And truth is power. So, you know, live in the light and look for the truth and get your game plan. Get prepped, get ready. You know, for any natural disaster. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So, anyway, that's our point. Just be as strong as you can. Connect with your neighbors. Connect with your friends and family. Grab a bucket of water and help us empty the swimming pool of filth. We'll clean it out. We'll fill it back up. We can do this. This is our country. These clowns work for us. And if the system isn't working, it's time to unplug the system, hit a Control-Alt-Delete, put a restraining order against our own federal government, and say, don't you forget that you work for us. And you heard as much out of some of the people on the I.R.S. panel when they were talking this past week. Really moving testimony. People being targeted as political opposition. Really creepy stuff. So thank you to everybody. I'm going to leave you with the song that I left the previous segment with. This is Juice Media, Rap News number 15. It's called Big Brother is Watching. Do yourself a favor. Go on YouTube and search Juice Media, Rap News 15. Big Brother is Watching. It's amazing. The song is great. It's very timely. I'm going to play it for you now. Love you guys. I love you guys. And girls. I love you. It means the world that you take a little bit of time to pay attention to anything that I do. We love your comments, you know, especially on the YouTube channel. It's a great forum to do so. We love the interaction. We love you helping us share the message. And, you know, we could give a damn about Republicans or Democrats. We just want some common sense. We just want to be left alone. We want our basic liberties, our basic freedoms, and we want to be left alone. So, thank you guys and girls. Here's Juice Media, Rap News 15. My name is Brian Engelman. This has been a back-to-back show of Agree to Disagree. And before that, it was the Unhappy Hour, Cleveland-centric, Los Angeles-based sports show. We'll see you next time. Thanks for everybody here at the TNAM Radio Network. I'm out. See you soon. Remember, Big Brother's watching.
Welcome back netizens, to this newest edition in Juice Media series of rap news journalism with me, Robert Foster. This evening we're actively delving in depth to facts which affect all of us who dwell on this internet. And we've got to give a special welcome to all the ladies and agents from the NSA, ACO, MI5. Glad you're listening in, because today's show is all about surveillance and how it's spreading from the streets into our modems. As we speak, laws are being tacitly written in to implement ways of controlling the expanse of this internet to keep us safe, we're told. But from whom? And will this place ever be the same if these plans go through? To find out, we connect with our first guest to comment on the matter. We're live at the Panopticon with General Baxter. General? Son? Good to have you back again with us. Explain why the state is spying on us.
My fellow Oceanians, as you know, we've always been at war with Eurasia. Or is it East Asia? Either way, it's war and we need division to wage it. But now the proles are connecting online, bypassing these illusory divisions of race, religion, and nationality.
Sounds grand to me.
It's a catastrophe. Centuries of hard work are being undone, profits are vanishing, and it's due to the internet. It's empowering humanity. We need to get this snafu under control rapidly.
How?
Behold the latest weapon in the war of terror. Our greatest invention since 9/11. Guaranteed to keep us free and safe forever. I give you the surveillance state, ladies and generals. Our secret wires log your key style. Monitor every single number on your speed dial. Rewind straight to your position with facial recognition and pinpoint you within 0.03 of a mile. We've put eyes everywhere without consulting you, keeping you safe whether or not you want us to. Soon there'll be no freedoms left for threatening. Then we'll have won the war. Take that, terrorism.
Brilliant. Thank you, General. We now interview our resident guru, Terrence Moonseed, for a different view.
Greetings.
How does this situation look?
I have one word for you, Robert. Double plus I'm good. The world populace of 7.4 billion are all headed in the direction of Orwellian totalitarian oblivion. My voice is hoarse, yelling about stellar winds, cold chilling them and trap wire weaving through the world wide web we all dwelling in. Face it, the all-seeing eyes in all of our Facebooks like a virus, and in these iPhones with Siri, or should I say I.R.S. Next in line is RFID devices and mind chips triggered by chemtrails the plague spray the sky with. This time it's too far. Check out the base they're building in Utah, where they'll be storing all your data for over a century. It's FUBAR, and under the outback is an entire tunnel of wires, an echelon base called Pine Gap to hijack our mother Gaia.
Hey, maybe your mother's gayer.
Boo-hoo. Why didn't you just kill yourself like most of your troops do?
That's it. Now you're on the cast iron list.
Hang on, General. Why weren't we informed about this?
Sorry we didn't tell you about our grand plan before. It was meant to be a surprise, under wraps in a store. But some spoil sports had to go and ruin it for all by blowing whistles in spite of the damn law.
Bill, Benny, and Thomas Drake are trailblazers for leaking these tactics.
Hey, civil liberty activists, this is all legal. Anything we do now actually is.
How did...
You can't question my authority thanks to this.
And that shit's global, people. In Australia, it's now legal for the government to store all SMSs, searches, and emails. Australians, it's taking place under your nose. Unless you wake up, all your data are belong to ACO.
Come on, everyone knows. You can trust the government now. If you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to worry about.
That might be the case with things that are happening now, because most people agree with most of the laws that are being handed down. But once the Illuminati reveal their agenda for you, this surveillance will enforce laws you no longer consent to. But by then it'll be too late to protest too, and anything you've ever said, typed, or browsed can or will be used against you.
I'm confused. So what should we do then?
What should we do? Nothing. This is all an illusion. It's just a ride, a delusion, the Matrix, the Maya deceiving us.
Oh, you hippies really make our job so much easier.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're picking up a signal from beyond the space-time continuum. Quick, switch on the juice channeling portal. Wait, is that George Orwell?
Good day to you.
Wow, what do we owe this honor to?
I tried to warn you noobs, but I see you are actually fools, or else you thought this was an instruction manual.
Yes, so can you advise us? What would you have us do? An open and universal internet is the most effective tool you have to address the issues that afflict the world at hand. Therefore, protecting it is the most essential task that stands before your generation. I think I understand.
Hush, man. You must not lose the internet. Heed this mantra. Who controls the internet controls the data. And who controls the data controls the future.
We're losing you.
I leave you with a tool to use.
An onion? Don't be simple, Robert. This is but a simile. It stands for Tor.
Tor?
Google it. It's for anonymity. This onion router open network helps considerably against tyranny, but its abilities only work if all you use it consistently.
And even if you don't use it, run it so its force swells.
Thanks, Mr. Orwell.
From now on, call me George Torwell. If we'd had such tools when I wrote this, well, it would have been so much simpler to tell Big Brother to go f*** himself. The motherfucking sucking piece of
Thanks, George Torwell, for manifesting direct from this memory hole of history to impress on us these messages. We're told we need safety, which is precious, yes, but can a society that can enforce all its laws ever progress? Hindsight shows that many figures guilty of thought crime turned out to be luminaries and heroes before their time. But if a surveillance state had reigned then in this form and design, just think of all the progress we may have all been denied. Could lobbies for women's or gay rights have appeared and thrived? Would revolutionary ideals have materialized? Would science have pioneered or even survived if every word had been monitored by thought police and spies? Big Brother brings chilling effects, freezing our collective hopes. He doesn't protect our safety but protects the status quo and threatens this internet, the one channel yet uncontrolled, whose openness we are now called upon to effect and uphold.